You don't need to. You don't need to be condescending to me.
I'm
So
not
let me
condescending.
educate you about my position. You want to attack me? Let me finish it. Let me finish it. Let me finish it.
Let's do this.
Oh boy, this video is about to get very intense with the meltdown, so stick around. Now, despite Elon Musk saving astronauts in space, Tesla is getting attacked left and right. If you drive a Tesla right now, you could be a target. So in this video, we will go over the most recent meltdowns surrounding this topic, and you even have people saying Elon didn't even save anybody in space. We'll get to that later. So before we start the video, please like the video. It's the #1 way you can help this channel, and it helps others see the videos as well. Let us begin.
I always thought the left, or the Democrats, were supposed to be the party of empathy, the party of caring, and yet they're burning down cars, they're firing dealerships, they're firing bullets into dealerships, they're just smashing up Teslas.
Yeah,
and I think there are larger forces at work as well. I mean, I don't know who's funding it and who's coordinating it, because this is crazy. I've never seen anything like this.
Okay, so you can leave your comments down below how you feel about this, but according to Elon Musk, he truly thinks it's the left and Democrats going after Tesla. Now, the question is, how do you prosecute people going after an American company, Tesla, to damage the company and the reputation of Elon?
Terrorism, people ought to be put in jail and left there for a very long time and be taught a lesson.
So when they do it to a Tesla dealership, it's really bad. But when they do it to the halls of Congress, we should pardon them. Is that your position?
No, I've never. I don't
Are
support.
we okay with the January 6th pardons?
I know you haven't been around for a while, so let me educate you about my position about January the 6th.
I'm so sorry.
Let me educate you.
No, you don't need to patronize
No, you don't need to. You don't need to be condescending to me.
I'm
So
not
let me
condescending.
educate you about my position. You want to attack me? Let me finish it. Let me finish it. Let me finish it.
Let's do this. January 6th and then near it.
I'm sorry you're getting emotional.
I'm sorry you're a condescending person who hasn't been paying attention to what I do.
Stop it.
All right, let's stop here for a second, take a breather. That might be the first time I actually felt a little nervous or like afraid when I was watching a clip. I have never seen Scott Jennings go off like that on anyone ever. But again, I want to point out the January 6th argument has actually not been made in a long time. I do a lot of research on these videos, and it's actually quite shocking that somebody is bringing up January 6th, trying to compare that to attacks on Tesla dealerships.
So here's the issue. I didn't support what happened on January the 6th and was one of the first Republicans to call it out. I don't support the pardons. I have repeatedly, just like my friend Ashley here, said that no violence in our political system is acceptable. But this right here, what's going on with a guy who helps our country, who runs successful companies, who doesn't have to be doing this, and now one of his companies is under systematic threat and violence all over the country, and people seem to be laughing about it or fine with it. It's outrageous. I've sat at this table and had people say, we should cut Elon Musk from the government totally. He rescued our astronauts today. Is that what we want?
All right, this is the perfect segue because right now there is a narrative out there that the astronauts in space were not stranded and what Elon Musk did was not that big of a deal. I'm not even kidding. Watch this clip.
A little bit. There was this idea that the astronauts were stranded up there. If you're an astronaut, right, this is what you live for. You pray to be able to be chosen for a mission and going up into space. And there was the problem with the space liner, with the Boeing, but they could have, at any time, NASA could have done something to try and retrieve them, and they didn't need to, right? So this, in many ways, this was very routine. Getting them down was not something special. This capsule was always up there waiting to bring the 2 astronauts who'd been there already and were scheduled to come down.
Okay, that was MSNBC really downplaying what Elon Musk and SpaceX did for NASA. Stick with me because this will all make sense as to why they are saying what they're saying. Okay, so basically you have 2 arguments. The main argument is those astronauts were not stranded because there are exit pods or emergency pods attached to the space station like you see on the screen. So because of that, NASA could have pulled those astronauts immediately if they wanted to, despite those astronauts being in space for a way longer time than they were supposed to. Now, this is the opposing argument as to why Elon thinks those astronauts were stranded.
The astronauts were only supposed to be there for 8 days, and they've been there for almost 10 months. So obviously that doesn't make any sense. SpaceX could have brought the astronauts back after a few months at most, and we made that offer to the Biden administration, It was rejected for political reasons, and that's just a fact.
All right, this video is sponsored by American Financing. Look, I don't know your exact situation, but if you're like the thousands of homeowners American Financing talks to every month, you're struggling to keep up, barely making ends meet, drowning in high interest debt, it's not your fault. Life got more expensive. Inflation hit hard. If you're still carrying credit card balances with 20% plus interest rates while mortgage sits untouched, you're ignoring the one thing that could turn it all around, your home. And this is where American Financing can help. Would you trade 10 minutes for a shot at saving an average of $800 every single month? Because that's exactly what homeowners are doing when they call American Financing. A simple, no obligation call could change everything. They have a team of salary-based mortgage consultants, so there isn't any incentive to put you into a loan that doesn't make any sense. And there are no upfront fees to find out how much you can save. Don't wait, call American Financing today and start feeling that relief. Call 866-889-2611. That's 866-889-2611, or visit americanfinancing.net/T-SPLY. I'll put the links in my bio and pinned comment. Go check this team out. They're awesome.
Relates to Elon Musk has said that he made the offer to bring you guys back earlier and that it was denied. My first question is that true? And if so, what would that have looked like? Was he offering to make another flight, push seats on another flight? Could you give us some background there?
I can only say that Mr. Musk, what he says is absolutely factual. We have no information on that, though, whatsoever. What was offered, what was not offered, who it was offered to, how that process went.
All right, so like all things in America, this became a very political topic. Were the astronauts stranded? Were they not stranded? I'll leave it up to you. One thing I will say, though, once everyone found out that Joe Biden did not allow or approve for Elon Musk and SpaceX to go up there earlier, a lot of people were questioning what was the intent. Something else I want to say is these astronauts are heroes to be up there and smile every single day on camera and say we are okay. We will never know how they feel, but at the end of the day, I really do appreciate they represented America the way they did.
The treatment of this guy is outrageous. These people who are doing this need to be found, put in jail, and made an example of. That's my point.
Anyone who commits violence against Tesla or Congress or anyone else should be put in jail, 1,000%. But that should not stifle dissent or opposition from Elon Musk.
Give it a little lip service. Give it a little both sides. Go ahead.
So John, we're so both sides here. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry to say that people are legitimately upset. They're legitimately upset at Elon Musk, and they're doing it on their own, but there is no reason to have violence in the country. But I just wish all of us would support criticism of, or would support punishing people who are violent wherever they are.
For what I understand, the Teslas will fall apart if you just leave them alone anyway. Yeah. There's nothing really anybody really needs to do.
You consider this an act of domestic?
I think so.
Why?
I think that if and when they catch the people, and I hope they do, the good thing is they have a lot of cameras in those places, and they've caught some already having to do with that. I think that you will find out that they're paid by people that are very highly political on the left.
All right, now when I was doing research for this video, I found a very good clip for you guys where Scott Jennings points out the fact that, look, you have all of this Elon Musk hate, you have people who are saying, you know what, let's cut all of the Elon Musk government contracts since he's a billionaire. Watch what Scott Jennings has to say about all of this because it's still very relevant.
So it's hard to do.
I have an idea for them. Why don't they cut the $15 billion that Musk has received in federal funding? I mean, if
what would you like
to
cut specifically?
I would.
Him rescuing our astronauts, giving internet to Ukraine.
No, wait. No. He's not rescuing our.
Hold on. So Elon's programs are fine, but everybody else's programs.
No, she said she wants to cut him out of the government. He does a lot of important things. I'm just asking what you want to get rid of. We need a space program, I think.
We're not talking about a space program. I'm talking about how Elon Musk, the wealthiest person in the world, is in the federal government making decisions about grants and about funding whenever he benefits from those things. He has people in a number of government agencies, yes, it is true, including the FBI, in order to find ways to gain grants and to make more money. And are you okay with that? Is that something you're okay with? You're for cutting. You're for cutting, but you're not for cutting Musk.
I think you're full of it. B,
I'm not full of it. I have sources at the FBI.
He provides all sorts of services to the government.
Just a second.
So again, imagine if we took the advice of that CNN news anchor a month ago. I really want to know how those astronauts would feel if they were told, hey, by the way, we are cutting all of the grants and the space program created by Elon Musk. And also, I found this clip very recently on the day where these astronauts were saved, where even an ex-astronaut admits if it wasn't for Elon Musk, there would be no NASA.
And at one point, right in the middle of the action, when we were waiting for the astronauts to be pulled out of there, I mean, MSNBC wasn't even on it. They weren't even covering it. I actually tweeted it out or posted on X because I couldn't believe it. But this is a moment for America to celebrate. And also a big thanks to President Trump and Elon Musk for just saying, you bet, let's get him home.
Absolutely. Elon Musk saved the U.S. space program. If it wasn't for Elon Musk, we would not be able to fly U.S. astronauts from U.S. soil to the International Space Station. There's no doubt about it. We stopped flying astronauts on Space Shuttle in 2011.
Now, I do want to point out, Pam Bondi, Attorney General, did put out a statement, and this is pretty aggressive. Released the following statement this evening regarding a spate of recent attacks on Tesla property. The swarm of violent attacks on Tesla property is nothing short of domestic terror. The Department of Justice has already charged several perpetrators with that in mind, including in cases that involve charges with 5-year mandatory minimum services. That's a lot. We will continue investigations that impose severe consequences on those involved in these attacks, including those operating behind the scenes to coordinate and fund these crimes. Now, you're probably seeing a common theme. Is there somebody behind the scenes, who are funding these crimes? You have that now from Elon Musk, from Donald Trump. Now you have it from Pam Bondi. So I wouldn't be surprised if all of a sudden we have investigations looking into, are there groups who are being funded to do these attacks? Maybe we'll find out very soon.
Something like a baker's dozen worth of conservatives over the past week have claimed to be swatted, including Cat Turd, an InfoWars reporter as well, Sean Farash, many more saying just in the past week or so, they've been swatted.
I know some of these individuals, Will, they're friends of mine, and it's very troubling to see just how deranged the left is in this moment, although I have to say it's not really a surprise. I mean, this has been around for quite some time, where anybody who speaks out against the hard left of the Democrat Party or opposes whatever delusions they choose to live in the moment can be subject to this kind of criminal activity. And
all right, so look, it's not only Elon Musk who is dealing with this right now. You also have conservative influencers or media personalities who have phone calls made on their property as if something bad was happening, also known as swatting. It's a very, very dangerous situation. And even Pam Bondi, the FBI, and others are looking into this. Again, this is a very unfortunate moment in American history where there is such a divide. And you can watch some of my other videos where I even show within the Democrat Party, you also have divides. There's divides everywhere. So again, I just wanted to point out, it's not only Elon Musk and Tesla getting the hate, it's also other conservatives who are pretty prominent in the party also getting hate.
But there's also concern by how much access Musk and Doge staffers have to their private sensitive data. You're also on the House Oversight Committee, and given what we just talked about, Musk's investments with China and billions of dollars before the government, and now, potentially having access to all this private sensitive data and not having full transparency on what is happening with that.
Yes, ma'am.
What information do you actually have on what Doge is doing with that data? What are your questions? What do you want to know? Certainly, as a member of the oversight, you have some questions.
Well, first of all, Elon Musk, when he owned PayPal, they never had a breach of security. IRS is a nightmare, ma'am. You have folks that still haven't gone back to work 3 or 4 years after COVID. As a United States congressman, I can write a letter of concern over a constituent of mine having a problem with the IRS, and it takes up to 6 months for me to get a response.
Look, I'm not saying there's no problems with government agencies or the IRS.
Hold on. You asked me a question.
But you're not answering it.
And the IRS the IRS has hundreds of different groups that have access to this stuff. And yet, no one's complained about that. You don't hear
There's checks and balances in place for the specific system. That's not true. Even the IRS, even politicals and the former IRS commissioner who was just on the show yesterday said even he didn't go to it, and it's highly unusual for politicals to have access to that system. Do you not have questions about?
So if you are still watching this video, I really appreciate it. The reason why I showed you that clip was because Scott Jennings made that one comment. You're playing both sides here, and unfortunately when it comes to Elon Musk, it's the same rhetoric of, hey, we all agree with waste, fraud, and abuse, but we don't agree with Elon Musk and how he's doing it. But then the question is, well, then why is nobody actually clearing out these systems and looking into all the waste, fraud, and abuse? Anyway, I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. Oh, something else I want to point out. Elon Musk was doing all of these interviews on the day he helped save those astronauts from space. So this, again, was a very political thing. It was a very anti-Joe Biden day. It was a very pro-Elon Musk day, but then some people are not even giving credit to Elon Musk or SpaceX. I will leave that up to you guys. Thank you guys for watching this video. God bless, and we'll see you all later.